Hello, I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Good morning and welcome. This is the AM News here on the AM Show, and we're starting the news from the Ashanti region this morning. Now, the National Democratic Congress in the Ashanti region says former President John Mahama's do-or-die comment has gingered party members, especially at the grassroots. This comes on the back of several calls by a section of Ghanaians and CSOs for the former president to retract the statement. Well, Member of Parliament for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, says polling station officers must be retained to make the do-or-die comment a reality.
Victory of the NDC is coming.
The Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NDC, Augustine Nanakwesi, says the comment has awakened their spirit to work harder and fight to regain power in 2024. He said this when the NDC region. Leadership of the party is positive the 2024 election is almost a done deal.
Mihu mrea nya bronifre no moral ewo party mu ewo srose. The record in the region is unparalleled. You have invested heavily in infrastructure. We saw massive road developments under your tenure. We saw hospitals being constructed under your tenure. You made the single most expensive capital investment in Asante Mine, Hdpe market. Asante Mine has come to a singular conclusion that there cannot be any better Messiah aside His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and we are hopeful that in the year 2024, Asante region will deliver its vote unto you.
To achieve this, the Member of Parliament for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, says polling station officers must be retrained. He believes this will avert challenges faced by the party in the last election and make the do-or-die comment a reality.
Because of Electoral Commission, nyoma omode tutu ya kwamenti tembia na na omoko ema ye ina ye wurefi se e wo se ye training ye polling agent ye ti ye ni na aka bosomi menu to election time no na start it was too late. Said there is excellency kan no do or die no sabio wo kwa police station no na woni obi a wo nimdie obi a wo kukuduro obi a wa boabo ho so obe agent a wo bedu no the same thing na besa sibio enti sra na yesre mu na mo hwe consensus no mo ma ye start in term ye start in term a me sure say definitely 2024 MPP ankasa on behu say asantimemu a ye ni abre pa.
Prince Apia reporting.
And displaced traders at the Kumasi Central Market are protesting the Metropolitan Assembly's relocation plan. They described the resettlement to the racecourse market as poorly planned. City authorities over the weekend asked the traders to move to satellite markets. This was to pave the way for the second phase of the Hdpe Market redevelopment project. But the traders say they are disappointed in the poor management of their relocation. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong has more in the following report.
The yam, meat and tomato traders are contesting the allocation of a piece of land at the racecourse market to the second-hand cloth dealers. Series of confrontations have ensued between the trading groups as they struggle to access space to ply their wares.
We have slept here for 4 days. We have left our children in the house to fight for this place.
Whilst the yam, meat and tomato sellers claim the land was allocated to them by the KMA, the second-hand cloth dealers say they were asked by the Ashanti Regional Minister to occupy the land.
Ashanti Regional Minister and I did have my yourself. Brony for your metna. Sunday,
Ashanti Regional Minister gave us the land. We came on Sunday only to meet the yam, meat and tomato sellers trading here. This morning, the yam traders are refusing to leave. However, they still stand by the decision not to leave.
And 1 year pay. Assassin, bien, baby. Sassas, we are near pay. And yet, you can't buy your phone. Any identified say, Yami Admochina, your Bayajum also.
The yam, tomato, and meat traders have bemoaned the unfairness in the land allocation. They have vowed not to vacate the piece of land. Yafuriwa is queen mother of the yam sellers.
The KMA brought us here. Traders selling foodstuffs must be the first to be considered before any other trader. A land was allocated to them down there, but it is alleged they sold it off.
Public Relations Officer of the KMA, Henrietta Efia Kunedu, says the piece of land is to be occupied by second-hand clothes sellers.
Last week, the second-hand clothing appealed to the RM, who also spoke to those who are using the place as their holding area to move for the second-hand clothing people to come and ply their trade there. So in effect, it means that the space is for the second-hand clothing dealers. It's for them. The yam sellers and the plantain and others have been given slots when you are entering the market on your left. That has been given to them to ply. But then Mensha said he doesn't want them so close to the stream, but rather we should move buses to that place so that they will in turn go and occupy the holding area where the buses are now, because that space is bigger and it can accommodate them for even to have a space left.
There have been several press conferences by the leaders of the various unions at the market. And we hope that the city authorities will meet with these unions to prevent further scuffle in the land allocation for trading. From Kumasi for JoyNews, Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Now, in the Upper West region, all major roads that were washed away by violent flash floods have been temporarily fixed. 8 out of 11 municipalities and districts in the region were cut off from the regional capital as a result of the floods. Government earmarked 50 million Ghana cedis to fix the roads and awarded them to 4 contractors. Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that though temporary work to fix the roads are complete, the contractors will return to site to continue permanent fixture of the roads when the rains are over.
This was how the Badalagbe feeder road, located between the Gasombo and the Fiema, looked like after the August 12th torrential rains in the region. The bituminous surface on a section of the road caved in and washed away by the high intensity of a rain that has not been witnessed in the region for years. A familiar contractor and face, Mawuns Limited, was called into action. He is back to fix a road that he knew from its F stage to its current stage. He constructed it some 15 years ago. Within 3 weeks of intensive work, it has now been fixed and open to traffic. Williams Adongo is a representative of Mawuns Limited.
At the time, the road material which the moistures are very good to work on the swampy area. So we decided to come with the boulders with his permission, so that the boulders will stabilize the ground. And then there are 2 different types of boulders. We have very big ones that went down first. Then we have the crash rock, and then the 040, which makes the driving comfort a bit better for traffic to use. We managed to overcome it.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali commended Mawuns Limited for the seriousness attached to the job, which has ameliorated the sufferance of the people.
I was here a few weeks ago and coming to see this within this short period of time gives me great joy. It means that we still have contractors who have the work with them perform magic. It is my expectation that once we are through with the rainy season, they will come and then do the actual work. Like the engineer indicated, we need to find a permanent solution to this.
Another feeder road that was cut off was the Fienda. It was awarded to Ascoli Investment Limited. They have temporarily fixed it.
What they have to
Let's go to the central region now. And the Omanhin of Ejna Traditional Area, Nana Kojo Kondria, has given squatters on the land earmarked for the Alumina fishing harbour 2 weeks to vacate the premises to make way for the construction of the facility. President Akufo-Addo, in the run-up to the 2020 elections, promised to construct the fishing harbour at Alumina if given a second term. The contractors have arrived on site, but some residents are still squatting on the piece of land earmarked for the project, making it difficult for the contractors to begin work. Nana Kojo Kondria says he does not want to see any resident occupying any piece of land designated for the project in order for the project to be completed on schedule. Richard Kojo Nyako has more in the following report.
President Akufo-Addo in August 2020 cut short for the commencement of the construction of the Alumina fishing port project. The fishing port is expected to provide a big boost for the fishing industry in Alumina, especially as the fishing industry is an important sector of the country's economy. The president explained that the Alumina fishing port rehabilitation project was originally said to be financed by the CDB loan from China. However, he stated that government had secured separate funding from Belgium for a new fishing port. The contractors have arrived on site to begin the project, but some residents are still squatting on the piece of land earmarked for the project. Omanhin of the Hdpe Traditional Area, Nana Kojo Kondria, has given the squatters 2 weeks to vacate to avoid delays of the project.
Baby wawa nkwafuwa kwa bubo ntabo dan naze wawa.
I had to take it upon myself to go around with the contractors to show where actually they would need to begin the construction. It's a park they have occupied, and any hindrance to the project is what I am guarding against. I've told them to leave the project area so the contractors could begin work. The contractors have indicated they would finish the work by 2023, and so whatever I would do to make them meet their deadlines is what I am for. But the residents say though they are excited about the project, they want more time before they could move.
The
We are excited about the project, but our challenge is the period they have given us to move. I would have loved some more time so we could look for a new place to settle and work to take care of the kids. It's difficult for us. The project is good, but the beach they have asked us to vacate is our problem. It's really a problem. They should give us more time. They need almost all the areas at the beach to undertake the construction, and that's our difficulty. The company has already employed some of the residents in the construction of the facility. Richard Kojo Nyako, JoyNews, Alumina.
Now, the Bono Regional Minister says that growing youth unemployment can be dealt with through entrepreneurship and educational reforms. Justina Owusu-Banahene insists a mandatory entrepreneurship experience for the youth and educational reform that emphasizes on technical vocational education training would make the youth employable. The minister was speaking in Sunyane at the inauguration of the Bono Regional Youth Parliament. Here's a report by Precious Semevo.
Youth Parliament is an initiative enshrined in the 2010 National Youth Policy of the National Youth Authority It is aimed at giving the youth a platform to learn how to express their views, offer constructive criticisms, and above all, participate effectively in the decision-making process on developmental issues at the local level. At the inauguration of the Bono Regional Youth Parliament in Sunyani, the Regional Director of the National Youth Authority, Fatih Bamba, called on the youth to make good use of the non-partisan platform.
The importance of the youth parliament is to engage the youth in decision-making in governance, basically, so that we can call duty bearers to answer to questions that needs redress. Because we've realized that there are a whole lot of things in communities and in the region that most of the young people are not informed. They are not aware of what is going on. So with the youth parliament concept, it will help them to really get to know what is going on in the communities, in the region. Then they can equally inform the layman or their peers so that it wouldn't create any confusion in the system. Effective and better communication helps for everybody to have peace of mind in their communities. And this is something that we want to integrate beyond the Bono region. We want to do that of Ahafo and Bono East region.
Speaking on the motion, young people entering into employment in Ghana, the barriers and solutions from the youth perspective, the Bono Regional Minister, Justin Awusu-Banahene, said an entrepreneurship experience and a reform that gives priority to technical vocational education training would make the youth employable.
A mismatch of skills has been found to contribute to the rising youth unemployment. I must say, Mr. Speaker, one of the surest ways of dealing with youth unemployment phenomenon is through entrepreneurship, that's a mandatory experience, educational reforms with emphasis on technical, vocational, and skill training to make the youth employable. Many of our young people in our tertiary institutions have great business ideas, and if provided with the right nurturing and sensitization, they could easily set up their own businesses after school and succeed. I want to tell society that today in our world, looking at our environment, with the raw materials that surrounds us, if we are able to enhance on TVET vocation, on TVET skill ability, we will be able to employ ourselves.
The Speaker, Kingsley Asari Abuaje, and the Youth Parliament leadership spoke to JoyNews.
So from the deliberation today, we realized that it is not the issue of the government alone, but we, the youth in particular, should also mind our business up.
One of the contributing factors could be related to job hopping.
Our curriculums, they will make moderations in them by adding skills, entrepreneurship skills to it.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunya.
And that'll be all for the AM News, but the AM show continues right after this.
So we're starting the first paperwork review.
Oh, we have a caller on the line.
It's a daily
Hello.
graphic.
Are we going to turn away our caller?
And the front page story, that means
wow.
Showing up tax.
Turn away our caller.
Showing up revenue. Okay. Past tax exemption bill. That's a lecturer, Dr. Abdulali Nachia, and he was actually my lecturer at Green Hill College. A senior lecturer at Green Hill College.
No, when?
Deepa.
Ah.
A senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Law School. School of Law, Legon, Dr. Abdulali Nachia, called for the speedy passage of the Tax Exemptions Bill 2019 into law to help improve revenue collection and lift the pressure on borrowing. He said the delay in the passage of the bill was worrying as it denied the state much needed revenue to fund critical expenditures. So this tax exemption issue has been a big issue.
Yeah.
And apparently the IMF has had cause to say that Ghana is losing between 3 and 5% of gross domestic product every year to the current tax holiday regime. So the tax exemptions usually are introduced to encourage investments, foreign direct investments. Now, it says that 3 to 5% loss in GDP translated to a loss of between 11.5 billion cedis and 19.2 billion cedis in taxes for 2020, using the year's provisional GDP figure of 383.3 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
So he believes that we need to streamline these things, otherwise we'll keep losing money. He says, so the senior lecturer, who is also the director of Alumina and Associates, a tax attorney, solicitor, and consultancy firm, further explained that the problem also had to do with the fact that exemptions were often used for political reasons and consequently risked being linked with corruption. One obvious solution to this problem is to take away exemptions, he said. However, he was of the view that if this is politically difficult, the negative effects of exemptions could be mitigated by inducing transparency into the system, either by making rules about exemptions firmly stated in laws and regulations or publicly disclosing information about exemptions. Okay, so moving on, page 5, Guinea coup leaders begin transitional government talks. And UN withdraws Gabon peacekeepers from CAR. And then on page 9, WHO to provide 30% of Africa's COVID-19 vaccines. And India is considering resuming vaccine exports. That's good news, so that we can have more vaccines, so that more Ghanaians will get their COVID-19 jabs. And on the gender page, protect women against harassment, abuse at workplace. Movement urges government. So the Young Urban Women Movement of Action Aid Ghana in the Upper East region has urged the government to urgently take concrete steps to ratify and enforce the effective operationalization of the International Labour Organization Convention 190. Right, we're moving on to... You check the time before I started the daily graphic. ECOWAS discusses Guinea in Accra today, and there's going to be some road traffic disruptions. There's, the Ghana Police Service has announced that there will be temporary roadblocks on some roads in Accra today as a result of the summit. So be mindful of that and avoid getting
those roads.
Traffic. Yeah. And politics, review constitution to reflect changing times, Dr. Alidu. So yes, this conversation keeps coming up that we need to, it's about time we
review the Constitution.
The 1992 Constitution. All right, I apologize for do and die comment. MPP USA Women's Wing tells Mahama. Prepare to wrest power in 2024, Futuampo tells NDC members. And he says, we did not lose in the elections because our parliamentary seats shot up. We did not lose in the elections because our parliamentary seats shot up from 106 to 130. We're expecting about 140 seats, but we'll ensure we work hard to wrest power come 2024. CSOs urge restoration of democracy in Guinea, and Reverend Owusu Bempa granted 200,000 CD bail. Ghana needs strong institutions to consolidate democracy. That's Justice Asante saying that. COVID-19 stimulus bolsters bank deposits to 110 billion cedis.
Wow.
Yep. Increased savings by individuals and firms resulting from the pandemic-induced slowdown in consumer and investment spending in some sectors also contributed to the observed growth in total deposits. And GFZA to forge stronger ties with Petroleum Hub Corporation, and households advised to acquire fire extinguishers. Good advice. Bayer community gets chips compound and fire burns shops near Bimbela markets. In the center spread, integrated aluminium partners sign agreement on bauxite production. So an agreement has been signed between the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation and Rockshore International to develop bauxite mines at Minehin in Sasso in the Ashanti region. Ensuring credible 2021 WAEC monitors candidates' conduct. So it says WAEC is monitoring the conduct of school candidates in the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate Examination in 11 senior high schools for alleged irregularities. And World Heart Day launch. That'll be for the center spread. Then keep Ghana clean. Well, 30,000 greater Kumasi households to benefit from sanitation projects. Good news. Yao Boafo is new GBA president. So the Ghana Bar Association has a new president. That's after Tony Forsing. So he takes over from Tony Forsing. This was at the bar conference which is ongoing in Bolgatanga. And then Ghana Senior High School, Anna's former headmistress. And essentially that's it for the daily graphic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning, because that's the paper that we're going to do now, Ghana set to establish first bauxite refinery as Hdpe signs pact to manufacture aluminium products. Reverend Owusu Bempah, 5 others granted bail. ECOWAS heads of state hold extraordinary summit in Accra. WAEC puts 11 SHSs under surveillance. All of this Israel has brought to you already. The Abesim murder case has been adjourned to October 5th. I'm sure you remember that. Okay, let's do some African news. Civilian soldiers killed in Mogadishu suicide attack. Mali warned against Russian mercenary deal. And Zimbabwe's unvaccinated have been barred from work. So the Zimbabwean government is tightening the screws on people who have not yet been vaccinated against COVID-19 and will soon launch a blitz on the agricultural sector where traders will be inoculated in a bid to arrest the spread of the pandemic. So interesting stuff going on there. Long sentence for Mexico drug lord. And North and South Korea test missiles hours apart. Oh boy. India courts Ghana's support to chair the CPA. There are a couple of opinion pieces on page 8 and page 9. Let's commercialize for foreign exchange, that's according to a judge. So a 2-day workshop on the Narcotics Control Commission is underway in Accra with Justice Bright Mensah, a Court of Appeal judge, suggesting that the commercialization of cannabis for economic gain. He says that cannabis could be exported to countries. We've had this conversation over and over again. I think it's actually something is happening. There's a process that's going on with doing that so that we can commercialize it. So we'll see how that goes. Government's 106 1D 1F factories have created 289,000 jobs. That's on page 11 of the daily graphic. Be wary of violent extremists in neighboring countries. Talented District's police commander is warning. Police that have closed the roads ahead of the ECOWAS summit. Israel was telling you about that. So just, be mindful. Okay, so the affected roads are the Jubilee Lounge to Liberation Road at Opebia. Liberation Road from Opebia traffic lights to Independence Avenue at National Theatre traffic light. Kempinski Hotel to National Theatre on Independence Avenue through. So the usual places, the usual airports, Jubilee, Kempinski, that area. So just try and avoid it so that you don't get frustrated. Ghana set to establish first bauxite refinery. Told you about that already. PPA inaugurates 17-member committee to oversee the implementation of GANEPS. That's the census spread. Let's see if I can find any other interesting stories. Guard against teenage pregnancy seems to be a really, 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 really big thing. Mentally ill persons take over some bus stops in Accra. Oh, that's been ongoing for a very long time. Ho Central Prison revamps greenhouse farming. 2021 population housing census provisional figures out September 22nd. I'll be having a conversation on that later on today. Importers and Exporters Association welcome freeze on freight rates. Okay, 2022 budget, send Ghana collates citizens' input for consideration. That would be very interesting if, what we wanted was taken into account when the budget was being drawn up. So that sounds pretty good to me. Okay, let's do a little bit of sports. Barca coach accepts fate after Bayern schooling. Barcelona coach Ronald Koeman was in a resigned mood after his side were outclassed and beaten 3-0 by Bayern Munich. Mbappe is expected to extend his PSG contract. CI comes out to arrive tomorrow. They're going to play, I think, Accra House of Oak on Sunday. Yeah. Okay, who gets not to lead Black Stars? The FA is going to announce today. There's a picture of George Boateng, Ibrahim Tanko, and Milovan Rajevac. So Interesting. 25 million Ghana cedi infrastructure for TTU inaugurated and take legal action against encroached lands. That's according to Cecilia Dapa. So that's it for the Ghanaian Times. Also done in 5 minutes.
Okay, good. So we'll go to the Business Finder. And the front page, Ghana's economy shows strong growth prospects as Moody's S&P affirm ratings outlook. Okay, it's the Business Finder, actually. And economy beats, so the story is that economy beats ratings downgrade. Core needs more investors to expand. The 2021 census results ready next week. Yes, we're having the Census officials, or the Ghana Statistical Service officials, join us for that conversation. We'll get to hear all about that. ECOWAS vows to help restore democracy in Guinea. Top Choco is Ghana's confectionery product of the year. So this is the business version of the Finder. And Ghana receives more doses of AstraZeneca vaccines, which is always good news. Ghana has received a total of 487,600 more doses of AstraZeneca vaccines from the governments of Norway and Germany through the COVAX facility to reinforce the country's COVID-19 fight. In all, 389,200 doses of the vaccines were donated by the government of Germany, while 98,400 doses were received from the government of Norway. So we thank you for your donations, Germany and Norway. But I pray that our country, my country, will be in a position to also get its act in order so that we always don't end up receiving donations. We should be giving out as well. COVID-19, MERS World Bank commits to robust this recovery. All right? And yeah, that'll be it for the Finder.
Okay, let me go straight to the Daily Guide this morning. And Owusu Bempah breaks free. That story on the front page of the Daily Guide. Government settles on Rockshore for $6 billion Ninahini bauxite. Dufour to face Mahama. And that should be interesting. Fix your mouths, find jobs. That's according to the Presby moderator. A national security coordinator speaks on threats. So, okay, let's do some world news. California governor beats bid to oust him. Nigerian forces recapture 114 from mass jail outbreak. That story about North and South Korea testing missiles hours apart. Also in the Daily Guide. Okay, now let's see what the Presby moderator is talking about. The moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Right Reverend Professor Joseph Obriye-Boamante, has taken on those thinking it is the sole responsibility of the government to fix the country. He was admonishing those in authority to use state resources judicially, but he also said, one thing I don't want to happen is for the young men and women in this country, and you can kill me for this, to sit down thinking that there's a party somewhere coming to fix things. It is not true. It is a lie. We must fix our environment wherever we are. We should get some jobs doing, get something to do. The moderator was speaking recently during the 38th annual National Delegates Conference, and then there's a subtitle that says Witches and Wizards. Let me see. The respected moderator could not fathom how such a laudable project like the government's Agenda 111 meant for the construction of hospitals across the country being undertaken by a poor nation like Ghana would attract opposition, and drew the conclusion that only witches and wizards will be against Agenda 111. Wow, that's very interesting. Okay, so he advised the initiators to ensure that all projects are completed as scheduled to reduce the health burdens on the poor. I don't think that there's anyone in Ghana really who is against Agenda 111 per se. The questions that have come up are the sustainability. Can we afford it? Is it an empty promise? But imagine if it was actually doable. We would love that.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't we love that?
Why wouldn't we love
Exactly. Why wouldn't we love? Why wouldn't we love you, for example? So anyway, page 7, Navy chief bemoans piracy, terrorism. Okay, I'll stop. Middle page. Now there's this thing going on between Shatawale and Sadiq Abdullahi Abu, who is the CEO of the Music Awards. So the misunderstanding between Shatawale and Sadiq has taken a new twist, with the CEO of the Music Awards allegedly threatening to physically handle the controversial Dancehall Act. If I see you physically, you Wale, I go beat you. A voice purported to be that of Sadiq said in a leaked audio in circulation. I can't confirm that because we haven't heard that leaked audio. What I can confirm is that Sadiq spoke to Andy Dosty 2 days ago and said to Shatawale that you came and you cried and you accepted the awards and all of that. If you were faking it, that's fine. If you don't want the awards, bring them back. The board would be happy to take it. That we can confirm. But beating and all of that, I don't know. I don't know if anybody will ever threaten to beat Shatawale. Like, this is Shatawale we're talking about, right? You don't want to do that. Rick Ross speaks on dating Diamond Platinum's baby mama. That's interesting. A woman is labeled by her baby daddy. Okay, whatever. This is not strong and sassy. Nana tackles...
This is not strong and sassy.
Wow, you really jumped on that, didn't you? Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Nana tackles Mohammed's anti-democracy talk. School bus driver jailed for funding people's breasts. Israel talked about that yesterday. ITEL unveils Kwame Eugene as brand ambassador. And Women in Worship concert is on Sunday. Okay, some sports. PSG vows to keep Mbappe. Milo, whatever. Milo takes over Stars again. It's a question, and we know that the FA will announce the new coach of the Ghana Black Stars today. So that should be interesting. Sinapi Abba for Afghanistan female team flee to Pakistan. That's it for the Daily Guide.
Right, so we go to the BNFT now, and it breaks for more floods in Kumasi as structures still occupy waterways 2 months after Housing Minister's directive. Treat farmer hub like 1D1F to attract investors. Services rebound sees economic growth 3.9% in Q2. And fintech tools, Ghana Card will improve SME access to banking. That's a UMB CEO saying that. So for that story on flooding in Kumasi, the perennial rainfall pattern in the middle belt of the country has set in, with the Ghana Meteorological Service Department cautioning, it's now Ghana Meteorological Agency, cautioning the public to be prepared to experience more flooding situations due to the predominant rains. Despite September and October being recognized as a minor rainy season, the amount of rainfall already recorded in the first 2 weeks of September, according to the District Meteorological Officer, Kwame Ufuri Ajama, is significant and indicative of what is to come. Okay, so we need to prepare, especially those in Kumasi, in the structures that are occupying waterways. Services rebound sees economic growth 3.9% in Q2. The rebound of activities in the services sector, particularly growth in the hospitality industry, has impacted positively on the economy as gross domestic product has recorded 3.9% in the second quarter of the year. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service have shown. Okay. Then moving on to other stories. Redefining education in the developing world. And private sector resilience, ingenuity, key to economic growth. That's the president saying that. Okay, so moving to the center spread. COVID-19 new travel insurance guidelines. How insurance companies could benefit. Okay, and let's get to the back page. Quality of cocoa beans key to sector growth, and Goil opens in Kroma Circle overpass Keta service stations. That'll be it for the BNFT.
Okay, I'm just going to do the Daily Dispatch, the headlines real quick, and then we can go to My Joy Online. So in the Daily Dispatch this morning, Ghana's democracy is threatened by lawlessness, that's according to General Amanfo. I'll support Dufour, that's Boating Jan, and I may consider contesting in NPP's 2024 race if ... Guess who's speaking? You've already seen it. Kennedy Ejepong speaking there. That should be interesting. Let's see what his if is. Okay. So he's indicated that he'll retire from Parliament in 2024. He will, however, give thoughts to becoming the country's president if there's widespread demand for him in that regard. All right. I shall not comment. Akufo-Addo hosts ECOWAS heads of state over Guinea coup today. Ghana's democracy is threatened. That story also on the back page. Tackle gold smuggling. Lands Minister to PMMC boss. All right, so shall we go to My Joy Online and see what's happening there?
Before we go to My Joy Online, you know, yesterday we had a conversation about, argument whether it was the Pragia, those vehicles, the three-wheeler vehicles, whether it was Mahama Kambu or Mahama Can't Do.
Mahama can do. Oh, yeah, okay.
Or Mahama can do, rather. Okay, so I checked. I told you I was going to fact check it. So I reached out to Rafiq Salam, and he's giving us the results. So apparently, depending on the side of the political divide you find yourself, you call it differently.
Okay.
So those NDC people say Mahama can do.
Okay.
That's what they call it. And then the MPP people, apparently, they call it Mahama Kambu. So that's it. But I'm wondering why they can do. It would be good to get the backstory.
To Mahama can do.
Can do. As for Kambu, I'm telling you, the vehicle looks like Kambu.
We believe you, Israel. We completely believe you. We will not argue with you any longer. We are very, very sorry.
It will still be interesting to get to find out why they call
it. would be, those names,
Kandu or
Kambu.
Okay, let's get on to My Joy Online.
Okay, so there is food shortage, not food. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I don't. The deputy, what is the difference? There's food shortage, not food cry. Your house, food hasn't finished for you to see panic before, Like, you know how when the kids, no, don't go up, please. I haven't finished with the story. Thank you very much. You know how when it's Saturday morning and you've been busy the whole week and the kids are not going to school on Saturday and they start in the morning at 5:30, mommy, I'm hungry. Yam no day, rice no day, cereal no days. Like you're thinking, okay, go bed small and wake up at 9 and go and do shopping. It's a shortage. Tell me, Israel, that is not a crisis.
It's a crisis.
It's a complete crisis. Like, these are the things that get me so pissed off with the way that government communicates with us sometimes. Like, we're not stupid. A food shortage, Deputy Agri Minister, is a food crisis. Like, food no there, yawa go pie.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Okay. All right. Other stories.
Are you done?
I'm done. Would you like to add something to it? Are you sure?
I have nothing useful to add.
Okay. Again, this man. Wait till harvest to know if this year's output is better. This is the same attitude of waiting to see what will happen that has gotten us to this point. Wait till harvest to know if this year's output is better than the previous. Okay, so what if it's not? Then what are you going to do? Especially when Burkina Faso and Co have decided that they are not going to be sending us food anymore.
Well, they can't say they won't send us.
Well, they've closed the borders, so it's difficult. That's what the Peasant Farmers Association said. They've closed the borders. It's difficult to bring sorghum and tomatoes from Burkina Faso. You will start eating tomato paste stew. No fresh tomatoes. Okay, ceremonial, Okay, Abesim Meda, police awaits victims' full autopsy report. Government suspends supply of premixed fuel to British Commander Maury and 2 other landing beaches over light fishing. Cases of African swine fever confirmed in the Bono region. I think 7 or 12 pigs died 2 days ago. Reverend Owusu Bempa, others granted bail. WAEC reschedules physics and business management papers amid concerns, and KNUST students ordered to leave campus by Saturday. Okay. Can you click on the KNUST story for me, please? Okay. So in the meantime, though, we will like if the Agri Minister Deputy is available to just give us a lesson on the difference between a shortage and a crisis, because we would love to know. But let's see what's happening at KNUST and why the students are being ordered to leave campus by Saturday. Okay, they've been directed to vacate the school premises by September 18. Now, this was issued by the Ashanti Regional Minister due to intelligence gathered by the security service that some groups of students are planning to interrupt the peaceful condition in the school on the eve of vacation, September 17. According to a press statement, this directive has been put in place to ensure that peace and sanity are maintained on the KNUST campus and that students leave on vacation day to their homes in peace. Okay, well, this is the press statement. In recent times, there have been several reports of indiscipline within the student body on the campus of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Major among these acts of indiscipline is the existing and unhealthy rivalry between University Hall and Unity Hall, which leads to acts of vandalism. We're all witnesses to reports, incidents that occurred at the KNUST Great Hall on 3rd July 2021. So that's about it. They're just saying that, you know, you finish your exams and go home. And remember, for those of you in KNUST, that if those of us who have gone ahead of you were misbehaving, you wouldn't have had a university to come and meet. So let's be mindful of respecting the things that serve us and that will serve the future generations as well.
I agree with you perfectly.
Indeed. Thank you for that agreement.
Yeah.
I feel bolstered in my spirit. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Oreku will bring you some sports. And then, of course, the show continues. We have so much more here on the AM show. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to yet another day. It's an incredible day, and it's a day of anticipation, especially if you're interested in the Black Stars. And that's what we'll be beginning with an update on the coaching vacancy. Now, former Black Stars coach Milovan Rajevac is currently leading the race to replace Sika Akono, who was sacked on Monday. We'll have more details in the following Joy Sports report.
The 67-year-old was contacted by the Ghana FA three-man committee led by Vice President Mark Addo on Monday night following their decision to part company with Akono. The committee also contacted former Zambia, Ivory Coast and Morocco coach Hervé Renard, Aston Villa under-23 coach George Boateng and Borussia Dortmund assistant coach Otto Addo for the vacant post. George Boateng, whose work is believed to be loved by the GFA president Keto Kreku, was offered the position of an assistant. He turned down the offer, insisting the top job is what he wants. Sources say Boateng has, however, agreed to play the role of a scout for the team instead when they go for the next Africa Cup in January. Otto Addo, who featured for Ghana at the 2006 World Cup in Germany, contacted CK Akono for insight about the job. For Renard, who is the #1 choice of the FA PR sources, his reported current monthly salary of $100,000 is a major issue. GFA investigations, however, revealed that he is on a $70,000 per month salary in his current job as Saudi Arabia national team coach. This figure is still on the high side, but the FA appeared willing to pay if the money would be available from the government. Mathematically, the FA realized they would need $2.4 million across a 2-year contract duration on the table for all coaches contacted, a figure they cannot guarantee is available. As a result, the football governing body is settling on Milovan, who led Ghana to the final of the 2010 AFCON in Angola, losing 1-0 to Egypt, and the quarter-final of the World Cup in South Africa the same year. Milo, as the Serbian is affectionately known, commanded respect from officials and players alike, and the leadership is convinced a second coming is necessary. Their choice will be debated by the executive committee before an announcement is made. He is expected to sign a 2-year deal with a salary of about $45,000.
Well, that's the latest from the camp in terms of the race for the new Black Stars coach. What we do know is that the Executive Council have up to 5:45 p.m. tonight to announce the new coach, according to what they said themselves on Monday when they said they would find a coach in the next 72 hours. Well, that time limit hits tonight, and we'll be here to be bringing you details as the stories break and do come in. Meanwhile, astute sports journalist Cal Tufo believes it will be too risky for the Ghana Football Association to reappoint Milovan Rajevac as head coach of the Black Stars after the dismissal of Sika Akono. Cal Tufo does not think the Serbian is the right man for the job, and he was speaking on Upfront on JoyNews yesterday.
There's a saying within the football fraternity that you never go back to a place where you've had so much success. Because the pendulum has been raised to a certain level.
Okay.
Anything below that means that you're in trouble. So if you take a look at it, millions of coaches around the world over the past 60, 70 years do not make it a habit of going back. One or two have done, and it has turned out very bad.
Okay.
So there's that record there. So one, I'll be highly surprised if Ryback, who is a European, will come back and accept to come back. And two, I want to know what sort of figures he's quoting now.
Okay.
And that would really be my mind. But at the end of the day, let's spell it out clearly. Whoever they choose may not necessarily be the one. Because at the end of the day, it's the government of Ghana, the people of Ghana who are going to pay. And so if there is some belief that the payer wants somebody of a particular ilk, then all they can do is that the FA can find the person, it's Zaya Yebo, and they put it before the Minister of Sports, who puts it before Cabinet, and Cabinet says, we can't pay that. Case closed.
To some more football, this time focusing on the Black Queens, who would also be starting the Aisha Buhari Cup soon. And President of the Ghana Football Association, Ket Okreku, has visited the team ahead of the Aisha Buhari Cup, which kicks off later this weekend for the Black Queens. He told the players to put in their maximum best and make Ghana proud.
No, yeah, Duma. Eba, Abesa. Eba. Eba, and I said, my back. Even though you say, yeah, prepare for the qualification to the World Cup and AFCON. It's so important training the idea never serious. Maybe some American catch every place and say once all decide to say we're born now we use boots now we shall host now we shall Jesse now go back and so I will be in because we need the opportunity here at Ocho.
But you need now many players in the say that say every do have a formation. Like I said, now one was always right. Yes, so you can't be at no school. The way you have to, yeah, there was it. Yeah, a better guy.
Missy, technical team and playing well in them. That is so if when you're an idea, if you can understand her, obviously you find this. The presence alone requires a big motivation for us. And if you're a natural, if I push it, and just say, you're a cry.
Let's head to Ghana now, where Kumasi Asante Kotoko has unveiled two new signings in the form of Richard Lamte and then Maxwell Ajiman ahead of the new season. Lamte, who joined the team from Inter Allies, signed a 3-year contract, whereas Maxwell Ajiman is a defender and joins the Porcupine Warriors from Division 1 side Wamanafu Royals. The centre-back put pen to paper on a 3-year deal and is seen as a replacement for defender Ismail Ganiu, who is reportedly on his way out.
right, so the Ghana Statistical Service is set to announce the update to the country's population following the 2021 population and housing census. Next week's announcement, slated for Wednesday, September 22, will be the provisional report with the official statistical document set to be published within the next 2 years. The GSS is touting this year's census as Ghana's first fully digitized census, and the reason the preliminary report has become available in such record time. Joining us for the conversation this morning is Owusu Keja, Chief Census Methodologist at the Ghana Statistical Service. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So Owusu Keja, and welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you so much.
And your title is big, Chief Census.
Very, very big. Very big.
Bigger than the man himself.
So, okay, so I was saying that we're going to have an update on the statistical service, the census that you held. But essentially what I'm pointing out to is, if you're announcing next week, Wednesday, it means we essentially know what the Ghana's population is now.
Yes.
So what is it, please?
So I will plead that we wait.
You don't want to make the announcement ahead of your boss?
Ahead of my boss, yes.
Okay, but we know what the number is.
I have some little idea. Some little idea.
Okay.
No, let's just say that, you know, but you want...
Is it what you were expecting?
Yes, it's within our expectation, yes.
Okay.
Right. So as for that one, I can say.
Right. But in the statement that you released, you're indicating that this is the digitization of the process has made or has helped you to deliver in record time. If you can just explain how this happened.
Sure. Remember, first of all, let me say a very good morning to your viewers, and thank you also for the opportunity. And so, yes, remember, we coming from far away. Census undertaking is not new in Ghana. We started this way back in 1891.
All right.
And so, and talking about the modern censuses, we talk about 1960, 1970, 84. And so we started with manual way of doing things. And so in the 60s, 70s, we were told that they were using what we call punching.
Okay.
And so usually after the data collection, it takes years for them to even come out. And if I recall, in 2000, it took almost 1 year for us to come out. And we improved on this in 2010, where we came out after 6 months of data collection. And this is because of the improvement on technology.
Yeah.
Remember, in 2010, we used scanning technology, which was far an improved system compared to the previous ones. And this time, as you mentioned, we used the Hdpe.
Okay.
And so we're getting real data as and when the enumerators were syncing data from the field. And that is how come we are able to come out that quick.
So as I was saying, I mean, essentially, as the census was going on, you can tell from your monitoring position, you could see the figures were going up. So as they added, we were taking up.
Yes, but it's not that simple.
Okay.
Because we have what we call duplicates, and other times you find some other information that needs to be worked on because the enumerators did not do due diligence and all that. And that is why you cannot mention that figure as you need to process it, it has to go through processing. Sure.
But yes, it's certainly a far cry from what we used to have. I'm sure you were saying the manual way of doing it. Back in school, anymore, when there's roll call, what used to happen is you just come and stand and then they'll mention, you say 1, 2.
Yeah. And then it just goes on and on.
And you know, when the figure was announced, when it was announced how much we're going to spend on the census, we were like, why don't we just
count 1,
give
2, 3, 4? I know,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the misconceptions, and not recognizing the fact that the census is not just about the numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you are bringing this up because many a time in the past, when people are anxiously waiting for the census figures, they are only interested in the numbers.
Yeah.
But the census is so resourceful. We have so much data in the census, and we think that we need to go beyond the numbers and make use of the data to improve on our...
Yeah, I agree with you. And all that is needed for decision making. You can say, you can argue that, well, we've had the data on for a long time, but what have we really done with
Used
the
it
data?
for, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no doubt that data or population census data is so crucial.
Okay, so like Israel was saying, it's really crucial. So I mean, what's the plan for us to use this more effectively now than we have in the past?
Okay, so on the 22nd, my boss will expand on this as he releases the provisional results. And so we have a plan to make the data available. So we, on our part, will do some kind of analysis. And so after the provisional release on the 22nd, we're looking at other releases. So in October, for instance, we're releasing another report that looks at
residential
facilities and how close the residents are to these essential facilities.
Okay.
And in November, when we are celebrating our annual statistical week, we also intend coming out with the final results. And that will go beyond what we're releasing in next week. So here in November, what we try to do is to make sure that all the variables that were measured in the census will have information on. So talking about ICT, talking about employment, talking about education, talking about sanitation, housing, and all these variables that we measured will make the information available. And so in the form of reports.
Right.
And then also we, next year, thereabout, we're looking at thematic reports. So 2010 census came out with about 14 reports. Here we're trying to expand it to about 23 or so thematic reports. So we're looking at policy relevant and
cross-cutting topics. Yeah.
That is going to help policy decision making. And aside that, we also intend working closely with the academia to come out with some analytic reports that will also try to answer some policy relevant issues.
Okay.
And then also we intend to making the raw data available. See, these are issues that from our own perspective we think that will help policy decision making. But beyond that, we also can have individual researchers, government may want to do something outside what we have done. And so that is their sense of giving the raw data.
So I'm curious, why? Yeah, anyway, please go ahead.
I was looking at the 23 or so thematic reports. We're hoping that when it comes out, will help in the formation of policy. So, for example, fertility, mortality, rurality, literacy and education, socioeconomic status. And you see, the thing is, the reason I'm talking about these things is that until perhaps a lot of these areas are analyzed and brought out, a census may seem to, apart from giving us a figure of how many we are, not seem as relevant until you actually understand that these are the things that you're focusing on, so that like for example, last time we were talking about road traffic accidents. Now it will help us to know how many 18 to 35-year-olds are in a socioeconomic position to be driving and all of that, so that we can make policy that's suited at them. So I'm interested in the collection of data with some of these areas. How did you collect, this kind of data? For example, literacy and education, or fertility, for example. Like how do you measure fertility in a census?
Okay, so let me say that our census instrument, if I say our, I'm talking about Ghana's one,
right,
was more detailed than the usual census instrument that you go elsewhere and you are looking at just a 2-page questionnaire because it's a census and you want a quick information about the population. But Ghana, since 2000, decided to add on more questions because, for instance, as we talked about how much we spent, we felt that let's make good use of the money because we're going to these same people. And so if you go and ask 1 or 2 questions, the cost will be around the same value.
If you're asking 10 questions.
10 questions, yes.
So why not ask 10 questions instead of 2?
And so key stakeholders met, and that is how come we even added on the population bit of the census. And so, yes, we designed an instrument. I would say that it was more consultative, speaking to a number of key stakeholders to make sure that whatever questions we are asking will help Ghana to improve. And so, I don't know how I should answer your question, but talking about, let's say if it's education, we had about 3 questions or so that was related to education. So, for instance, we wanted to find out whether you are schooling, you have ever been to school. So we have 3 different categories. Those who have ever been to school. So either you are schooling now or you are out of school. You were once in school, but you are out now. Or you have never been. And then we move on. If you have ever been to school, we want to know what level of schooling, whether you dropped out or
you finished. Yeah. Okay, so there's another category here, household dynamics. What does that mean?
Yeah, so here what we intend doing is to compare how households in terms of numbers have evolved. Now, if you look at, I don't want to go into the census figures, but if you go to our DHS, for instance, you realize a decline in our household size. And so we want to find out what is happening and even the composition.
When you say decline in a household, like what do you mean? You mean like people are not having as many children or?
No, so we are talking about how many people live together as one unit.
Okay.
And so you find, so now we are becoming more closed than before.
Okay.
Therefore, you will not find somebody and the wife with the extended family all living together. These days you find, 1-member household, 2-member household, and so on and so forth. And so that is so we want to see the trend, what is happening over time, and then,
Okay. I mean, listen to you describe these things makes me look forward to reading the census report, because then, you can tell that it'll be interesting because it will give, a reflection of what's happening. You only know what's happening in your house. You don't know what's happening at other people. So this is the perfect Sabe tool, to know what's happening. I mean, I'm like, okay, so that sounds, I'm looking forward to that. That's, but that's not coming out till May next year. It says May to December 2022.
Yes. So these are more detailed.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that, for instance, we're talking about even urban rural composition, and that is a derived indicator.
Okay.
In other words, we did not ask a specific question to find out the rural-urban category. So based on the result of the census will help us determine which area is classified as urban and which area is classified as
Okay.
So it takes time to do some of these
analysis. Okay, got it.
So what can we expect, or what will be the information that's made available next week, Wednesday?
Yes, so next week's information is more limited. And so we will know the provisional numbers, what the population is as a country.
So when you say provisional, does it mean it will change eventually? As in, you would update it when you give the final?
Yeah, so let me say
the final will come in November.
It may.
All right.
Because we're still working on the data, and so I'm not too sure what happened.
Okay,
but usually the deviation between the provisional and the final results are not usually too much.
All right, so you're saying that you've been able to do this in record time because of digitization, but now you're saying next week, Wednesday, you're giving us a figure that may change in November. So like you're more like just buying time and giving us something before you give us. Why don't you then wait and give us a final one, then we'll know, yes, this is the final figure.
As if you were with us yesterday when this same question was posed. And so let me begin by saying that this had been the practice in the past. So in the past, we were not going digital like this, and so usually it takes time to do the processing. And so we were using another instrument that was helping us to get a quick, information about the population. And so then, in order not to keep the people in suspense, we try to come out with this provisional. And so November, yes, as my boss said, it's not too far, from next week's release. And so we could have waited. But we also find a lot of people asking about what, social service, yes. And so we think that we need to come out and tell people what we've been able to do so far, especially when people were talking about how much
money was spent.
Yeah.
We have not thrown money into the gutter and that kind of. And so it's a quick picture of what the population is. So looking at the male-female composition, and then also the regional distribution, and a few other.
So that's what we're expecting
next week. Yes, please.
The provisional number of people, population size in the country. How many of them are women? How many of them are men? And for each region.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll also do some calculations on the density. So population density, we're looking at, on average, how many people are living on a 1 square kilometer land. And that also gives us a sense of how much pressure we are putting on the infrastructure. And also, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. But yes, there's so much more that we can expect from population census, because a lot of data is collected. For instance, people were being asked how many mobile phones you have in your home, and people are wondering, why do you want to ask for mobile phones? And people are mindful, or they're hesitant to release the information because they're thinking they want to know how many things I have in my house so they can come and steal.
Yeah, so for some of the enumerators, we're expecting them to explain the reasoning behind the information that we are gathering. Yes. So here it's in one of the things that we will do. We want to measure non-monetary poverty. We measure poverty levels within the country, and that usually uses the Ghana Living Standard Survey, which is looking at poverty from consumption perspective. So we come to your house, we want to know what you consume, how much you spend, and so on and so forth. But there's also this other side of poverty measurement, which doesn't make use of this consumption. And so that's why we're using, we're asking questions on this ownership of assets to be able to go into that.
Okay.
Right, but there's so much more to look forward to as far as the census is concerned. For me in particular, I'm interested in what businesses can benefit or how businesses can benefit. A lot of the time people don't get to appreciate that, but if I get to know the income levels within a certain population size, then you know.
Can tailor make your products to suit,
exactly.
yeah.
So you
and know how to price, know how to situate even.
Okay, so let me, so for income levels, you did not ask in the census.
Oh, you didn't?
You didn't, but it has to do with how many people are employed, how many are unemployed, how many, we'll also be able to measure underemployment. And even for those, and that is what I usually say, so even though, yes, a lot of people may be into some employment, we need to know the characteristics of the employed population. Of the people who are employed, what is it that they are doing?
Yeah.
Is it something that, they are comfortable with? ILO will put it as decent work. Is that the kind of work that they are doing? And so the report will come out with all these to be able to...
There's something that I'm very interested in, and it's really just a very simple part of the consensus. How many men are there? How many women are there? Because we are tired of this 1 to 7 thing that the men have been worrying us here in Ghana. That's for every 1 man, there are 7 women, therefore we are tired. So please, if you can pass it on to your boss that we are eagerly awaiting when he's presenting the report. If he can make that one of the first things that so that the issue is settled once and for all, so that we know our levels. So, thank you very much.
So, I mean, it may give the figure asking how many men are there and how many women are there, but it wouldn't say how many eligible.
It's not eligible, but the conversation is even not that deep.
Yeah, so you can,
the 1 to 7 is not even that deep.
So you can do a lot more
analysis.
Of cross-tabulation to be able to...
Thank you. In fact, I will personally invite you so that we cross-tabulate and we see how this thing is going so that we know how to strategize.
And let me say that, so for the 2010, for instance, so it wasn't uniform. So you find that at the national level, the women are more than the men. But then if you go into the individual regions, you find variations. In some instances, you find
more
the opposite
happening.
Yeah.
Then we also know which region to go and live in. I mean, you understand. This is why the census is important. This is why the census is important. Thank you very much.
But there's so much, information that you can get from a census. And it's interesting, some of the things that tend to come up.
And so my boss is passionate about this.
We are also passionate about this.
Yes, to make sure that we make good use of the census.
Yeah.
So there's so much in there, and we shouldn't just limit our conversations around just the numbers.
The numbers, yeah.
So yes, the issue is the Ghana Statistical Service, we've spent so much money to put all this together. It's for policy making. But what if we have all this information and yet we are not able to utilize it?
Exactly.
And which is one of the issues that people would have, people who are watching would have, that let's make the data available, but it's for decision making. And so if we don't make use of it, we've essentially wasted the money. So, so we're looking forward to next week and when we get to know how many men are there and how many women are there.
Simply put.
Yeah. So we'll get to know the entire population. And then how many of them are women, how many of them are... And I'm sure you would have some the age brackets as well, will you, next week?
Next week, we don't intend going into that. But for the November one, yes, we will have. So we are able to tell how many children there are, how many are within the youthful group, and how many are in the elderly category, and so on and so forth.
But this will also tell us how many are farmers, how many are in the various occupations.
That will be in the November one.
November one.
The final result is when we will release all these.
So the November one will look at the people in these various occupations. So we'll say 10% of the population are into farming.
They are into agric, not only farming.
So agric, so animal husbandry, agriculture,
industry, those into construction, those into manufacturing, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot to
Looks good. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And hopefully we'll have you back to discuss when it actually comes out, and we can really dissect it and enjoy it. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us with before we move on to our next conversation?
No, just to say a big thank you for the opportunity and even whetting up the appetite in terms of what we should expect next week and subsequent days ahead. So as I said, we're giving ourselves up to 2024 to make sure that we give out something that we as a nation can rely on to improve on our conditions. And so just want to go back to the point that you made, that we need to make use of the data. Because during the data collection, this is one of the things that we were battling with. A lot of the people were asking, yes, you always come for this information, but to what use will this be put and all that? And we assured them that, yes, we will do our part, and we expect policy decision makers and usually we only go to government when we're talking about use of the data. It goes beyond government. So the development partners, the researchers, the businesses and
charity organizations, everything.
And so we want people to make use of the information so that together we succeed as a country.
You also said that you're going to make the raw data available.
Sure. So we usually will give 1%, 10% of the raw data available depending on the person who is requesting. But we think that the 1% is enough for anybody to do whatever analysis he wants.
When you say 1% of raw data, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, so the census...
Let's probably start with the raw data. When you say raw data, what are you looking at? Are these the sheets that...
Analyzed, Yeah,
the ones that we haven't analyzed. And so...
you've come to my house, taking data on a form.
Yes.
So let's say data on my house.
Your house. But then, and so, yes. So we've provided information for, let's say, 100 people. But that data is so bulky for an individual's computer to contain that. And so we're giving 1% means that we'll take the information on 1 out of the 10 and give out to the public. But that is scientifically selected, such that it will not be biased in whatever analysis you want to do.
Right.
I don't know whether you are getting me.
I'm still not getting it. I'm wondering if that 1% data that you say you're selecting is going to contain private information, disclose my name.
No. So I was going to come to that. Right. So first of all, I'm saying that we're not giving the whole 100 information on the 100 people, but we'll give 1 out of the 10. But that 1 out of the 10 is scientifically selected such that it will be representative of the 100.
Okay.
You get it?
Will it have names?
So then, as part of the ethics, we're not supposed to disclose whoever gave the information. Okay. There's a law backing that.
Okay.
And so we swore an oath to say that we will not divulge any information. And so if you tomorrow should come to Satka 7 and say you want information about yourself, you will never get it.
You won't get it.
You won't get it. And so when we are putting out this information, we anonymize it.
Okay. All right.
And so users will not find names of people who gave this information out.
Okay, well, great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. This morning we're speaking to Mr. Owusu Keja. He's the Chief Census Methodologist at the Ghana Statistical Service. And that's something for you to look forward to in about a week. The initial preliminary provisional Census figures will be released, and of course we will have that conversation once that data is made available. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking to our friends at Duraplast. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and we're counting down to the second mini clinic of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair at the West Hills Mall this weekend. That's Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. And if you missed the first mini clinic, you shouldn't miss this weekend. We're joined by Duraplast, our friends from Duraplast, and they will be telling us how the first mini clinic went for them and what they have in store for visitors this weekend. Now remember that Duraplast is a leading manufacturer of PVC and Hdpe pipes here in Ghana. Head of sales from Duraplast, Mr. Emmanuel Oforientry, is here with me and Israel, and he'll be telling us how it was. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. So how was the first weekend for you?
Okay, that was last week Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I think in the morning it was a bit slow. Then after that, people were trooping in. There were a lot of visitors to our stand.
Okay.
Which after, I think on Monday, we started calling them. So some have started doing business with us. So.
Oh, that's really good. That's really, really good.
So I'll say it's good.
It's been good, right? So what were some of the products you had on display over the weekend?
Oh, we had almost all our products was there. We have the septic tank. We have our flagship product, that's a water tank.
Water tank.
Water tank, yeah.
Water
tank, you know already. Yeah, we had the DuraBlock, the barriers. We had the CD wash as well. You know, we have a new device for hand washing. Yeah. We had it there. We had the cones. We had I think we have the garbage chute also.
Interesting. I mean, I like how you've evolved in the kinds of products that you're bringing, you know, to the market. Like very relevant with the times. You know, I love the idea of the garbage chute.
Yeah.
So exciting.
And the one I'm particularly excited about, the septic tank. You know, some time ago, we used to, you'd actually dig and put in, build, or you put in blocks, concrete, whatever. But apparently these days it's...
You know that one with the, if the place is waterlogged, you can't use it.
Yes.
But ours is ideal for everywhere. You know, it's plastic. It's plastic. And one advantage is it comes with external and internal filters. What this filters does is it filters the sewage water, so you can channel it into a drainage or any gutter around your place.
Okay, that's really good. That's very exciting.
So, and increasingly, people are also using, they are also now burying the tanks as well for water as water reservoirs.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, Accra land is getting finished. So you get to have somewhere.
No space.
There's no space to mount your tank. So then you can put this one, excavate the ground, put in the ground, let the plumber connect into it, and you pump it.
And you're good to go. So the water tank.
So it's done in such a way you can even park your car on it and nobody will see it.
Wow, that's fantastic. I haven't seen one of those yet, but I'm gonna have a look at it this weekend. And when we go, tell us more about the water tank. The water tank. Yes.
You know, water tank has made a big difference on the market, especially with the rings. You know, our rings are not like the others. It's woodland, and after giving the tank beauty, what these rings does it gives the tanks extra strength.
Okay.
So it's durable than the rest.
Okay.
Our tanks also comes with a level indicator, which is not on the market. You know, before people will go and knock on the tank, and the sound will tell you whether it's full or empty.
I thought that's all. When you open the tap and there's no water, then you know that it's finished.
With water tank, it's not like that.
Lovely.
We have an indicator, which from a distance, you can tell the level of water. So if water is getting finished, you will know. So you can call the doctor, hey, Jack, my water is getting finished.
That's fantastic.
Is that you call the who?
The water tanker. I mean, if your water getting finished,
okay.
At times you can be in the bathroom, and all of a sudden,
no at once. Yeah, because you know, and where I live, there's no water. You're now having to connect water, so we buy water every week. So we kind of have an estimate, you know, going on. Like, okay, this number of people have bathed. This week we haven't bathed twice. Then we gauge that, okay, we feel that the hair, maybe by Friday we buy water. I mean, or last Saturday morning, I woke up the morning, I started in the middle of bathing.
You sit down.
Stephanie, so it's so cool to be able to have a tank.
Hold on, so you're saying you were in the shower, you were bathing.
And the water goes finished, yes. I was now shouting in the house, hey, go and buy me pure water. I'm just being dramatic, but the point is, it would be nice to be able to, drive into your house and then you can see where the levels are.
Just
I look forward to a day when it will actually have an alarm connected to the phone. You get a message. Dun, dun.
Maybe next. We are going forward. So
your water levels
we are going forward.
Yes.
We are going forward.
That would
maybe you get some alert on your phone.
Exactly. That's water levels.
You have 100 liters left. So.
Right. That would be absolutely fantastic. So what can we look forward to this weekend? I mean, what are some of the extras that you're giving us this weekend?
We are known for something which we cannot deny our customers this weekend. So what they know us for, we are going to repeat. We're going to give discount.
Oh, how much of a discount?
We're giving around 10%.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And in some cases, we may go further than that.
That's interesting. That's it. What are your price ranges? I mean, for those who are watching and just wondering.
With the water tank, we are looking at 300 Ghana cedis to, let's say, 4,500 Ghana cedis. That's from the smallest to the biggest.
To the biggest, okay.
And with the water tank, maybe I didn't tell you, this year we've introduced 2 additional sizes to our size range. Before, we didn't have 2.5 and 3.5 liters. That's 2,500 liters and 3,500 liters. But now we have them in our range.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Are those the water tanks?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I can see the difference in the shapes and the ripping.
The beauty.
And, And so where is the water level thingy on it?
You see the red on it. So when you see the red, meaning it's empty. When it's yellow, you have half tank. When it's green, so they indicate just the colors.
It means go.
Go.
Okay.
So at yellow, they mean you have to start making provision for
water. Okay, exactly. that sounds good. What about the garbage chute?
The garbage chute, this for the high-rise construction companies. Like you are putting up a 10-story, 15-story building, and at the top floor you want to drop some.
You see it in movies, like how when people are trying to escape criminals, the action films, they go into the garbage. Do not try this at home. Do not try it. Do not try it.
We have it, so you are putting up that high-rise building, and you want to drop waste debris.
Your husband.
Anyway, this is not strong. This is not strong and sassy. We don't drop husbands.
Okay, sorry. I'll be quiet. Okay, I'll be quiet. Please go ahead.
I'm not saying you should.
So to make the environment safe, you just drop whatever debris.
Because otherwise they tend to throw things from there. And there may be somebody who's walking,
or maybe there's a neighbor's window and the wind will blow it to the window and things like that. So when you drop it through the chute, they come right to where you want to drop. So even at times they drop a wheelbarrow at the base of it. So it will just go straight to a wheelbarrow. You drive it.
They drop a wheelbarrow through the chute?
No, you can park a wheelbarrow. You can park a wheelbarrow at the base
of the chute.
Oh, okay.
So everything goes into it, and then you just...
once it's full, then you just...
Then you call Kofi. The Kofi bar wheel guy.
Or maybe a garbage truck.
Yes, or a big incinerator.
If the volume of the debris coming is huge, you park a garbage truck there. Instead of letting it drop on the ground and now shovel it again.
Yeah. So that sounds really
good. Duraplast, so we used to call you Duraplast where Duraplast goes, water flows. It's not just about water now.
No,
it's about garbage too.
Those times was when we were producing only the pipes. So anywhere you see Duraplast, the meaning the pipes.
Water flows.
Exactly. But now we've gone beyond that. We are into the water tank. We are into safety products like the barrier, like the traffic cone. When they are doing the construction on the road, you have to put the cones there to either demarcate an area or identify road users that there's a
there's something going on.
A trench
so
or danger, something like that. You know, have those things. So we've gone beyond the pipe.
And another technology when it comes to the pipes that you've introduced, which is working so well, has to do with the Hdpe pipes. Exactly. You know, so we have the PVC pipes and then we have the Hdpe pipes. The PVC pipes, they serve a purpose, but the Hdpe, they can carry hot water as well. I'd like you to tell us about the technology.
Yeah. Apart from hot water, also also they can carry or they can stand the pressure from trucks.
Okay.
Okay. Like you want to connect water or a cable from your radio side to this side.
The TV side.
Yeah. It's best if you use the Hdpe because trucks
and run over it.
It'll still be
firm. So it's stronger.
Yeah. So either your cable or your water, there won't be any problem.
Yes. Yeah. And of course the hot water, which we can't relate to.
The hot water will be for the very small.
The small, yeah, we have sizes. We have sizes from the smallest to
the biggest.
Biggest.
It sounds really exciting. I think we're going to come and check you out this weekend. We'll find you, and you should too if you're watching us. If you're interested in any of the products, Geoplast. You also make boats now.
It's canoe.
Hey.
It's canoe, plastic canoe.
Wow.
You know, want to save the country from cutting wood for canoes. So we have the canoes for both for lake fishing as well as for.
How much would a canoe like this cost?
The canoe is costing 6,500 cedis.
Okay.
It's a six-seater canoe.
Okay. So you do this, and then if you want to put a motor on it, then you can put a motor on it.
If you are buying, we ask you, are you going to paddle or are you going to use the motor? If you're going to use the motor, we add additional
features, safety features,
which you can install or fix the motor there.
And then you're good to go. I mean, I love going to the Volta Lake, so I mean, it would be nice to have my own
it's a lot there. It's a lot.
There are a lot there. Yeah, I have my own little canoe, and you know.
We have some tourists who use them for recreational purposes. Then the fish, tilapia farming is also used for fish farming.
Alternatively, when it rains too, I mean, you can use it to tow circle.
There is a place somewhere in the western region, and
please hold on. Don't teach the people to do stuff like that. Maybe they could get drowned.
Sorry.
Okay, like you're saying, don't try this at home. Okay.
I can really imagine it though. What I mean, but yeah. Okay, there's a place in the western region.
There's a community in the western region where there's a river which divides the town into two. So kids going to school, he lives here, and the school is here.
As opposed to swimming, taking off your uniform, swimming, and then wearing it on the other side.
And they keep going like that.
They keep going. Nice.
So movement is
easy.
It's easy for them. Market women, school children. You just wait for the next one.
And then
I think it was bought by the MDs or something. Maybe
people.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe
yeah. Okay.
And it's fantastic.
It looks fantastic. So really excited. Okay.
Yeah,
there's a washing a mattress too.
Oh,
it's a pallet.
Oh, it's a pallet. Oh, it looked like an inflatable mattress.
No, it's a pallet. That's for warehouse.
Stop laughing at me. It looks like
even the pallets. Why is a washing occurring to you?
It's okay. So there's the pallets.
Even the pallets, we have two. We have this is a blow molding pallet. Then we have the roto molding pallet.
Right. Okay. Can we roll the picture so that we can see some of the other products? Okay.
That's a unbox. It's a multi-purpose box.
Yes.
Okay.
It
can be insulated, which serves like a ice chest.
Oh.
Mainly patronized by these event organizers.
Okay. Yes.
Without the insulation, you can use in your office to pack some archives, some documents you don't want to discard totally. Maybe keep
or things that are precious to you. I mean,
you
can
in your home, your kids' toys, you don't want them to just scatter in your bedroom or where. They keep it in it.
Not for the kids themselves. That's their toy.
So seeing this M-box, then I'm thinking it could actually serve another purpose. I don't know if you've thought about that, but kids going to school these days.
We have it. We have it. See what I have it. Yeah, we have. This is the light side. The medium one is mainly for school.
So like a trunk.
It's a trunk.
They call it food box.
Yeah.
This is the big one. The medium one, it comes with heels also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So going to school, maybe you reach your daddy drop you at a gate, you just wheel it to your dormitory.
But it can be used as a suitcase.
It's the same thing.
Like to travel.
Will you have some of this at on display at the mini clinic?
It was there.
No, I didn't get to see that.
It was there.
So I should be looking out.
It was there. It was it.
You should be looking at maybe your next trip to Greece. You can wheel it.
Anyway, you don't send this one to Greece.
Why not? Made in Ghana to the world.
We're talking about school.
School is perfect.
Okay, I'm going to keep the main.
You know what? At Dancy Travel, please get a ticket to Greece.
Why? So that I don't harass you? I will not trade my ability to harass you for a ticket to Greece. Maybe the Maldives, not Greece. Thank you very much. It's been lovely having you here with us this morning.
Lovely having you too.
And you can find your class this weekend at the West Hills Ball, Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Do swing by. So many exciting things that you can find, so many exciting things to do at the Habitat Fair. We're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we have more. And if I don't come back, it's because Israel has done something to me. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. This is still the AM show. And there's an upcoming Youth Empowerment Conference. It's a local conference of youth. It's a forerunner event to the Conference of Parties that's hosted annually. At the LCOI Conference of Youth, participants all over the world gather to develop a global youth statement, which is presented to the Conference of Parties presidency. Now, the organizers are here to tell us all about it. And communications lead for Ghana, Nadia Owusu, is joining me this morning with her laptop. I'm a very, very, very serious person this morning. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Awesome. So what's this whole thing about, this whole local conference of youth thing?
Lovely. So pretty much young people coming together to talk about climate change issues.
Okay.
The local conference of youth is a precursor event to the Conference of Youth that was initiated by the United Nations Framework Conventions on Climate Change.
Okay.
And the Conference of Youth happens annually, but because of constraints, young people are unable to participate in this international event because this year's event is happening in Glasgow.
Oh.
So because of transportations, tickets, airfare, a lot of times
visas, stress,
young people
are
not able to contribute to putting together the national statement that is presented to the conventions of party. So we have the local conference of youth. First, that's the precursor event to the entire conference of youth that will be happening in Glasgow this year in October.
Okay, so is this happening in many different countries, and then you come together with the statement and then you...
Yes.
So this is like for the Ghana statement.
Yes. So
and then all the different countries will do their statement, and then you'll do one statement that will kind of incorporate...
Great.
All of it.
Yes, we have the local conference of youth. That is like the conventions of local young people, climate activists, climate organizations, partners, supporters, to be able to talk about things that affect young people. Mainly, women and young people are one of the main people that are directly affected by climate change issues. So because we need to add our voices, especially when you're talking about policies that affect young people. Without young people being on the table, without young people taking the platform to talk about what matters to us, people do not have what represents young people. So this event is for youth, focused on youth, youth-led, to be able to get our statement. What happens to us? Issues talking about policies and governance, climate change finance, gender and climate change, biodiversity, all of these issues will be raised at the local conference of youth in Ghana.
Okay, so who is behind all of this?
So the local conference of youth Ghana is done in collaboration with Ghana Green Youth Organization, GAYO. We have the United Youth Initiative Africa, UIA, and thankfully we are working together with our partners that are working hand in hand to make this happen.
Okay.
We are really grateful to UNICEF Ghana. We are really thankful to British High Commission, British Council, GIZ Ghana, Canadian High Commission. All of these people are working hand in hand to make it happen. Yes,
Exciting.
Not forgetting the youth organizations working with us.
Of course. So what are you hoping to achieve this year?
So at the end of the entire event, which is a one-day event, it will be happening in a hybrid session. We'll be having 50 participants. So participants that will be coming physically present at the British Council. And because we don't want it to be inexclusive, we are trying to make it inclusive for every young person in Ghana. Okay. So we are having young people from different regions. All the regions in Ghana will be present physically, and they'll also be joining online too if they cannot attend physically.
Okay, that's great. So there's access.
Yes,
so anyone can access.
We're making sure it's accessible, it's gender balanced.
Okay.
We're making sure everything happens. At the end of the day, we want to achieve 3 things. We'll be launching the Youth Climate Council. That would be like a general body for climate change issues and climate change bodies in Ghana. We are also going to create the youth statement, which will be focused on different parallel sessions in our discussions.
Okay.
And lastly, we are trying to make it a capacity building project to be able to enable what happens in Ghana. So we want to work together with government, we want to work together with climate activists and all these people to put together a working body in Ghana, so that when we are talking about climate change in Ghana, it's not just what is happening outside. We should be able to talk for Ghana.
Right. Okay, so what's the patronage been so far? Has it been good?
It's really overwhelming because this is the first edition happening in Ghana.
Okay.
Annually, it happens in different countries, but this is the first happening in Ghana. We've had about 340 registrations so far.
Wow.
And we have to select like 50 in person. So
that must be tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of youth organizations backing us. We have Eco Kira, we have Margabings, we have Reusable Bags, GH, we have GEM, we have even SYND. These people are working hand in hand, putting together guiding questions that would guide the events that is going to happen, because we don't just want it to be just a one-day event. We come and talk, we deliberate, and we go back. But we want to develop youth statements that will guide and will present it at the COP26 that's happening in this year.
So when is this conference happening, the one in Ghana?
Great. So the Elkoi Ghana is happening 23rd September.
Next week Friday?
Next week Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
10 a.m. at the British Council.
Okay, that sounds really good. So then after the conference, what happens?
So after the conference, we are trying to put together different things that are going to happen. We have our media briefing that will be happening, not just to talk about the Elkoi. We're having a media briefing that will be talking about climate issues in Ghana and youth participation. We are going to develop co-opted pieces talking about climate change issues. We are going to highlight key climate persons in Ghana, organizations doing things to be able to feed into everything that is happening about climate change in Ghana.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Now, you stated that you're working with, other NGOs and, it's a collaboration of sorts. How is that going? Is it productive? Are you finding that it's helpful?
It's been very good because it's mostly voluntary. We're having all these organizations come together, help us make all of these possible. It's not been easy. We've been putting this together for almost 2 to 3 months. So their support has been very helpful. Our partners have been very great. UNICEF, GIZ, British Council, British High Commission, the Canadian High Commission. So it's been lovely. We are really thankful for their support. And without them, we are unable to put this youth statement that will be submitted to the COP16 team in Glasgow. So we are really excited this is happening. And because it's youth-led and youth-focused, we are finally going to have our voices heard on the global platform.
Exactly, which is really exciting.
Yes.
And I suspect may be the answer to my next question, which is what inspired you, you guys to get this thing moving? And I'm sure it hasn't been a downhill. It's obviously an uphill climb. You've had to overcome so many things. What exactly has inspired you and, kept you going to fight, to be able to do this on a local level?
So globally, climate change advocacy has been done for a long period of time. We have people like Greta talking about climate change. We have climate activists. But the most important thing to note is that children and adolescents are amongst one of the vulnerable people that have been impacted directly by the climate change issues. And because we are young people, we will be most affected in the future to come. And if we are not doing anything actively, if we are not advocating, if we are not educating people at the low levels, marginalized young people, people in the rural areas, they don't know the effects of these things we are trying to advocate for. So it has been very dear to all of us at GAIO, UIA, and this is like a big platform to gather enthusiasm about climate change issues in Ghana.
That's interesting. Are you going to do it next year as well?
Yes, we are hoping with the support we are getting so far, it's been overwhelming, and we are hoping to have subsequent versions of this. Because we are initiating the Youth Climate Council, it's going to be like a steering committee for all climate change organizations in Ghana, and we want to do more. This is just the beginning. So if you're out there, if you're interested in this, please reach out to us.
Okay, so how do people reach out to you?
Great. So people can find us on social media, Elkoi Ghana, at Elkoi Ghana on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So that's how people can reach out to us. So just send us a DM on social media, use the hashtag Elkoi Ghana 2021, and we'll be hoping to get your participation.
Okay. It sounds really exciting.
It is. It
sounds really, really exciting. I wish you all the best.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to add before I let you go?
So yes, apart from just doing this, we are actually putting out surveys for people to include their voices.
Okay.
So we'll be using the U reports to do that, for young people to talk about their interests, their understanding about climate change issues, governance and policies. So we're expecting a lot of people to be coming to the British Council 23rd September at 8 a.m. Not just that, if you can't join, we'll be streaming live on our Facebook channels, Elkoi Ghana, so people can watch and actively participate. So we're doing so much more, and it will be lovely to get everybody supporting us, running around us. And thanks so much to JoyNews for having us today.
Oh, you're so welcome, Nadia. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to see so much passion and so much life. You know, it's amazing, amazing stuff. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Really do. Thank you so much. All right, so that's Nadia Owusu. She is Elkoi Ghana Communications Lead, and the details are on the screen. The conference is slated for 23rd September at 10 a.m. at the British Council, but you can join, of course, on Facebook. So exciting stuff there. Now we're going to talk about guacamole, chimichangas, burritos, tacos, everything you think about when you think about Mexico. And the Mexican ambassador to Ghana, Enrique Ernesto Escorza Zamudio, is our guest on the AM show this morning. We're talking about the festival that's going to be happening in Israel. We'll be sitting down with him right after this.
And you're welcome to it. It is a showbiz segment here on the AM show, and we are going straight into the perception people have of Sarkodie and Fuse ODG's ideology or perception. So a lot of people are thinking Sarkodie is arrogant and Sarkodie is full of himself, and they don't even want to have anything to do with him because of his arrogance. But contrary to what Fuse ODG feels, he thinks, and he says that Sarkodie is one of the most amazing personalities he's ever met in Ghana. Well, he said this to Edukumi on Tete-a-Tete on Asempa Show.
Sarkodie is one of the most amazing people I've met in Ghana. I can tell from my perspective. Do you understand? Me and him, we go way back, and he's someone that I can actually share my problems with.
Wow.
Because we have a certain understanding on where we are.
So, no say Ashtowning.
But when you say Sarkodie, we have fancy.
I've never heard that one before.
But okay, treat it like boy Asantinis also. Like, but the tree, you know, Charlie, the guy is a genius. I don't know. Hey, Charlie.
But the way we see it making use of the language.
No, especially. But yeah, I can honestly say from my perspective, like he's one of my favorite guys in Ghana because we have a great relationship. We're like family. So anybody saying anything, I can't speak for them.
Speak for anybody when it comes to Sarkodie because he's having a different experience with Sarkodie. But that was not the only thing he said. He also went on to narrate how he met Wyclef and how long it took them for the Antenna remix to be done.
We met in Ivory Coast. So I had a show in Ivory Coast around that time. And it was me and him on the bill to perform. And as soon as I met him, like he was like, "We've been waiting for you, blood." I go, "I'm so sorry that, you know, cause my flight got delayed. I'm so sorry I'm late." And he goes, "Yeah, man, bust a freestyle." So me and him started freestyling back of Wyclef, just freestyling. I'm just there like, wow, Wyclef freestyling in front of me, like live. I'm like, wow. And then after he was like, "Yeah, your turn." I'm like, wow. we just met. So I had to freestyle as well for the Wyclef.
That's like, he's that free.
Yo, he's such a cool guy. Like, and straight away we connected. Then I started telling him about, you know, the mission for Africa to change the perception. He was like, yeah, but that's what I've been trying to do for my country as well.
So that's what ensued between the two of them, and that is how long it took them to record the remix for Antenna. But let's throw our attention to poetry here in Ghana. And Nana Sasi, who was on Hits Daybreak, the morning show Daybreak Hits, he says that he doesn't believe that poetry has gotten the attention it deserves here in Ghana.
And say that poetry in Ghana has not been given the kind of attention it deserves, not because it's a sheer case of neglect, but maybe to an extent because people do not know that even what they have is poetry, or do not know its uses, its benefits. And I believe that when you have not taught, you do not expect results. But as Sonny said, we have come quite a long way. We made some strides. But you see, the creative economy, zooming down into poetry, could benefit a lot more from that art form if we paid attention to it. Not just in putting commercial value on the art, but also in things like academia, you know, and in addressing social issues, championing social causes. Poetry could be used in so many ways that other forms of communication might not necessarily fly with.
Well, Ramsoni, who was also on the show with Nana Sasi, also orated that poetry is the mother of all arts, be it music, movie, fashion. Take a listen to what he told Andy Dosty on that show.
Poetry is the father of all, the mother of all art forms. Movies start with scripts, and the beauty of script, the aesthetics of it, comes from the devices of poetry. Dance, music start with a script. It starts with writing, and to make great music, poetry is the bane. When it comes to fashion, they start with a sketch. Inspiration, they pick inspiration from every part of everything, every part of the environment. So poetry, we needed to position it rightly, and that is exactly what we've done over the years.
And that is all time is going to permit us. The name is Ibrahim Ben-Bako, but don't flip off it. Yeah, Easy and Anymore coming back to have you wrap the show.